It is such an amazing honor to be on stage of TEDx stage. But there's one thing that I have to admit before I will start. When I first knew that I've been selected to be a TED speaker, my first reaction was, why me? Who am I to be a TED Talk speaker anyway? But when I found out that today's theme event is out of the box, I then realized that, wait, I'm actually a very good fit for this. Why is that? Is that because I am the most creative person out there? Or because my creativity is superior to others? Of course, the answer is no. But the reason why that I'm here today is because I believe for my whole life, I've spent my entire life cultivating a connection. Or to put it another way, I've turned creativity into a friend. Sound a bit unusual, right? Imagine being a friend with creativity. But I think this is the best way to describe it. Because for my whole life, creativity has always been a lifelong companion. It has all the way transformed my life in a way that I could never imagine. And it has brought me from a boy in a very humble family in Vietnam to someone who's now living a very vibrant life in the city. So because of that, I think I know this guy well enough. I know creativity well enough to really talk about it. But don't worry, I'm not here to share another how to be creative course, because I believe that with just a quick search on Google, you can find thousands and millions and tips and tricks on how to be creative. So why I'm here today? So I want to say that when it comes to creativity, people always think that it's something that we need to chase after, that we need to gain it with this tips, this trick, but in reality, it's actually something that we need to nurture. But in order to nurture it, we need to know that box. Out of the box, we need to know what is holding it back and what is killing our creativity before it even has a chance to grow. So because of that, today I'm going to talk about that mystery box that everyone is always talks about but barely defined it, okay? And that's what I call the silent killer of creativity. Okay, so let's start with a very quick experiment. Okay, imagine now I ask everyone here to come with some idea to design your logo. Okay, be creative. Feel free to think of anything that you want to create. Give it a try. But wait, how about let's start over? Let me help you with some guideline, okay? To make it easier. Okay, when it comes to a logo, I don't prefer neutral colors or like 3D style because I think it's very outdated. Okay, so now with those guidelines in mind, how do you feel? Maybe you feel like it's a bit harder now, right? Or maybe like a bit stuck. So what actually just happened there? Is it because we really become less creative just in a few seconds? As someone who's been in this situation multiple times, I used to think that, oh, that sudden blankness, that spot that I feel like lack of inspiration came from the fact that creativity was stopped by the difficulty of the task, right? Very makes sense. But after analyzing it over and over, I realized that our creativity wasn't stopped by the challenge. It was actually stopped by the expectation. And that expectation altogether built up the box that trapped our mind. So you see the paradox here? We live in the world where we're constantly told to think out the box, but at the same time, we are not putting our creativity into one. And what worse is that we're not about just others who put us into that box. We ourselves also put ourselves into that box because we impose a lot of limit on our own imagination. And that's right there. All the expectation on how creativity should look like is the silent killer of creativity that no matter how many tips and tricks you try to apply, if you don't overcome these, you would never be able to unlock your full creative potential. Okay, so now I would like to talk about its cause, its effect. Let's take a closer look on how it takes root and its impact on our creativity. So let's all start with the way we define creativity, okay? Even though there's various of ways we define it, but we could all agree that creativity is about bringing about something new to the world, right? We could all agree on that keyword, new. And according to mindset, of course, we always consider an idea to be creative only if it's entirely new or it's something that never existed before, right? Or if not, it got to be something groundbreaking or impressive. But let's be clear, let's all admit it. We're living in a world where humanity has come such a long way. So it's becoming such a huge challenge if we really just trying to create something that never existed before, right? And at the same time, let's all admit that we're getting harder and harder to be impressed. So if we keep measuring creativity on that very fixed and unrealistic expectation, creativity would barely exist in our today world. And of course, on top of that, beside from the way that we define it, we as human, we also have what we call natural bias, right? Each of us is influenced by different backgrounds, very unique, different culture, different environment, and different story. And because of that, we have different perspective on almost everything in life, including creativity. So to be clear, let's take a look at the entertainment industry. I'm pretty sure that everyone here has at least that one song or movie that you find life-changing, and you find like, wow, this is the best piece of art I've ever seen in my entire life. But meanwhile, critics and also people out there, they actually find it very boring and it's something that is not that impressive. So what happened there, that difference, at its core has shown that creativity is highly subjective. And talking about song and movie, I also would like to add another fun fact, okay? Remember that I said that we always crave for something new, right? And we tend to exclude anything that doesn't feel new. But the reality actually proved the opposite. Because in 2019, there's an article by The Guardian that has revealed that in the same following year, up to 40% of all the Hollywood movies released that year fell into the category of reboot, remake, and sequel. So you see, while we really crave for novelty, new idea, and exclude anything that doesn't feel that way, we actually drawn to familiar pattern more than we think. So all the paradox here has shown us that all the expectation that each of us is carrying, that we feel like, oh, it's helping to shape creativity, is in fact killing not only our creativity, but killing other creativity around us. And we have seen that it has led to a culture where everyone now prefer to play safe instead of truly create something that is really meaningful, right? So what is the solution for this? Should we all together create a more inclusive, broader standard for creativity to include more things? The answer is no, because I don't think that we should fix the box by making a bigger box, right? The real solution here is that we all together remove all the expectation, destroy all the boxes, okay? And shift the way we view creativity. Instead of viewing it as a fixed rate or a quality, we should see it as an attitude. Someone who is creative, not because he or she can produce something groundbreaking, but it should be someone who's always willing to create, willing to develop an idea until it blossoms into something creative. And at the same time, creativity isn't about, results, it's more about the progress. So think of the creative process like planting a tree. Oh, sorry. Okay, think of it like planting a tree. It needs the same, freedom, care, and dedication in order to flourish. Okay, so if until this point, any one of you have feel like, wait, I'm carrying those creativity killer, there's action that you can take from today to remove all of it out of you. So the first one, I want you guys to reframe your relationship with creativity, okay? Creativity isn't only about being perfect. So remember that first. Don't let the fear of judgment or the weight of expectation hold you back. Instead, whether your idea feels big or small, messy or polished, give yourself the freedom to express it. And at the same time, remember that every act of creation is a progress in your creative journey. And after that, if there's anyone out there from today asks you, are you a creative person? I want you to dare yourself to call yourself creative. Because remember, it's about trying, showing off, and giving life to what's inside you. Don't worry that, oh, I'm not that different. Because remember, you're already one of a kind and the only version of yourself that exists. So start today, share your idea, and create that project. So before that I finish my talk today, I hope that everything that I've shared so far has somehow given you a little courage or a little motivation in order to remove all the boxes and to overcome all the expectation that is confining your creativity. Because remember that if you put trust into your idea, stay with it and nurture it, Something that feels ordinary today might blossom into something extraordinary. So from today, whenever that you encounter an idea, whether it's from you, whether it's from other people, I want you to pause a bit, resist all the urge to judge it based on your expectation, but instead ask yourself the question, how do I make a space for this idea to grow? Because remember, our world doesn't need more critics of creativity. It needs more bold creators who dare to create. So step up and choose to be one. Thank you.